Hi, my name is Timka. I'm a screenwriter and indie filmmaker, and today I will give you 3 easy tips into writing a story without outlining it. So let's get right to it, right? I love outlining stories because when I started doing it, right, it accelerated my writing process. I just became like way faster and I can always correct because my outline feels like my first draft. And whenever I'm writing, I know exactly where I'm at in the story. And I usually know how my story is going to end because I know what message I want to convey. So it's very easy. But there are those writers who feel like, no, outlining limits my creativity and I want to develop the story as I go along. I don't really want to know how it's going to end. I want to develop it. And as the characters are experiencing the story, I want to experience the story. And this is how I write. And there's no way around it. Anti outline, end of the discussion, right? Which is fine. But what can happen is that you write yourself into a corner. What you don't want to have happen is that you write and think, God damn it, where do I go from here? I don't want to begin again, right? So here are those tips that will help you prevent those errors, right? The first thing that you want to do, you want to write towards a certain event, right? You want to know exactly, if you're not structuring your story, but you want to know exactly what's the biggest significant event in your story is, right? Whether it's the wedding or whether it's the funeral or whether it's the murder on the train, right? Or whether it's the point where the hero gets revenge, or whether it's the point where the hero wins the tournament or finds forgiveness in their heart. Whatever it is, right? You want this significant cathartic event. So everything you write is a matter of causality. So basically, you're just writing a chain of causality that has to happen. So this certain event can happen in the story, whether it's your midpoint or whether it's the finale. But keep in mind, there has to be a significant event because that's the reason why you're writing the story in the first place, right? To express something that means something personal to you. Okay, then the second thing you want to do is you want to write extensive character backstories, right? You may not know how your story is going to end, but you want to know who you're dealing with within the story, right? And if you have characters who are complex and that you know exactly, you know their income, you know their social status, you know their ambitions, you know what they worry about, right? You know what makes them happy, you know their parents and who they surround themselves with, their age, their job, whatever it is, right? The more specific you get, the better, because you will not start thinking about, well, what would this guy do? What would David do? I don't know. Right? But when you have a backstory for David, oh yeah, David is in this type of situation, and because I know this guy, like he would behave like this and this and this, right? So your story progresses more naturally. It's not like you have to force a character from scene to scene, but basically this is how this character would naturally react because I know this guy and there's no other way that he could react, right? So you write your story organically and everything that happens makes sense, and also you will have more consistency overall in the run of the story, right? The third thing you want to do, right, it also has to do with character. You want to write characters with overlapping goals, right? You have your protagonist, you have your antagonist, and when your antagonist wins, your protagonist loses because their goals overlap, right? I want to get the girl. Yeah, but I want to get the girl. They can't both get the girl, or whatever it is, right? Because then the story basically writes itself. If every character has like a certain thing that inspires them, that they want to get, you want somebody in turn that prevents them from getting that. It's best if this person who prevents them is not evil, but it's dependent on their ambition and their goals and their backstory, right? So you will have antagonistic forces without them necessarily having to be villains, but just people who are searching to fulfill their dreams, right? And if you want to make it really interesting, you can have the protagonistic forces right? And all the characters around the protagonist also have conflicting goals. So they may want the same thing, but they have like very different methods at going at what they want, right? So every time you write the backstory, and your second backstory, your third backstory of a character, keep in mind you want to have goals that overlap, goals that are in conflict with each other, so you have those interesting character dynamics. So the story will basically write itself, because hey, this is me, I want to go and win that prize at the tournament, and you have somebody who is somehow conflicting him. No, my son, you will not win this tournament, you will work in my meat shop, or whatever it is, right? So this will help you to basically have the story write itself. I think I've said it 3 times now, but those are the 3 tips that will help you writing the story without an outline. Again, the first one is you want to write towards a significant event. The second tip is you want to write an extensive backstory for every character. And the third one is you want every character to have overlapping or conflicting goals, so you have that really interesting character dynamics, and the story will progress without you have to thinking about it a lot. All right. So if you like this type of content, I created a course that will help you write compelling stories and to create a professional writing habit. It's called Finish Your Story. Just click on the link below and you will get right to this course, and it will help you to dramatically improve your screenplays and to become a better screenwriter. So at the end of the course, you will have worked through all of the modules. There will be no excuse left to not finish your story, because you will already step by step work yourself towards writing the story that means something to you and that would mean something to readers. And if you make this movie, it will be actually compelling to watch, right? So yeah, screenwriting is not always easy, but keep at it, right? Don't forget, it's not always about being perfect, it's just about getting better.